So, Marion, what are you gonna do for dinner tonight?
I think I'll go home, see what's in my fridge and in my cupboard and cook something up. I'm not sure what yet.
Are you gonna cook?
Yeah, of course.
Oh. Actually, I almost never cook. I cook maybe once or twice a year.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, what do you do then? What do you eat?
Oh, I always eat out. I buy my dinner every night. I think it's just better
Oh my God, every night.
every night.
How
Yeah.
is it better, Todd? I don't understand.
Well, I mean, I know it's a waste of money, but
Mm,
I look at it, it just saves me a lot of time.
right, okay.
So I don't have to go buy the food, store the food, then prepare the food, then
Mm,
cook the food,
hmm
then clean up afterwards.
Yeah, I
Wh-
don't like that part so much.
Right. When you just eat out, it's quick and easy, saves you
Mm.
time.
Hmm. I think though I can see what you're saying about the time factor, but for me sometimes cooking is a way of almost relieving stress, or if I'm thinking about the day that's gone by and maybe something has stressed me out, I'll just go into the kitchen. And as long as I'm on my own, because I like to cook on my own, I don't have to talk to anybody and I can think about, things that are going on. And while I'm chopping the onions or, opening tins or whatever I'm doing, it's just a time for me where I don't have to think about anything else really apart from the food I'm preparing. And then if something floats into my mind, I can kind of deal with it at the same time. I find it quite relaxing.
Actually, I could see that. Actually, I run every night.
Oh,
So,
yeah?
I love jogging, and I
Mm.
usually jog for about an hour. And
Mm.
so when I come home, I'm sweaty, I need to take a
Mm.
shower,
Yeah.
and I just don't have time then to use more time to cook
Mm.
because I get home late from work.
Yeah.
So I just buy my food on my way home from my
Mm.
run to save time.
That surprises me actually because I know you run, so you're really into your fitness. But do you not consider the health factor about buying food all the time because it's always processed food, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I try to go to the deli in the supermarket,
Oh, okay.
and they always have nice people behind the counter.
Mm.
Often, some sweet old lady or something, and she's made some nice salad or some dish, and I always figure she can make it better than me,
Right.
right?
Probably.
And when I buy it, I'm providing a job for somebody else, right? So there's a lot of good benefits by doing this system. Plus, it's very
Mm,
social, right? Because I live alone, so I
yeah.
talk to the person at the counter and I get variety every night.
Yeah, that's true though. But if you went to the kitchen of the place where you stay and you cooked, that would be very social as well, don't you think?
Yeah, but I live alone. Who would I talk to?
The other people in your communal kitchen? Don't you have a big communal kitchen?
No, no, no. I live alone.
Ah, okay.
Oh, I used to share a kitchen, but yeah, now I live
Oh,
alone.
right. Okay, so then I can understand the social aspect. I really enjoy going out for dinner actually with my friends. I really enjoy that part. But if it's just me, I kind of feel, I think in Japan it's quite easy to go into a restaurant on your own,
Mm.
but in Ireland I would feel very kind of strange and awkward if I went to a restaurant on my own. I'd feel like people are looking at me and saying, "Oh, she's got no friends."
Oh man, I do it all the time.
Yeah.
And I have no friends.
That's not true.
So Marion, now you lived in Italy,
That's right.
and when people think of Italy, they think of food.
Yes.
Yeah, and can you talk about the food in Italy?
Sure, I'd love to. I love Italian food.
I know it's so good.
Yeah. Well, I suppose everybody thinks immediately of pasta and pizza, right?
Right, right, right.
Yeah, they're the two most common types of Italian food, and they are really good. I mean, it just bears no comparison, I think, to the pasta and the pizza that we get in other countries. Also, the ice cream, actually, in Italy is just different from any other country in the world, I think.
Mm.
They really they really have the number ones on those three items, I think. But apart from that, I mean, there's a whole world of Italian food, um, and it's all really, really good. I mean, the first time I lived in Italy, I lived in Genoa, so that was by the sea. Obviously, then there's a lot of seafood involved in the cooking, fish stews and that kind of thing. And they were really, really good. Also, that region around Genoa is where pesto originated. So you know the basil sauce
Oh
that you
yeah,
have,
yeah.
yeah? So that's from Liguria, which is the area around Genoa. So while I lived in Genoa, I think I must have had some form of a pesto dish at least once a week, but I loved it. It's one of my favorite tastes, actually, pesto.
Yeah, pesto's great.
Yeah, yeah. You can add it to anything and it tastes great. I put it on my sandwiches sometimes. Um, yeah, so Italian food, it's quite difficult to talk about Italian food really, because in Italy there are so many different regions. So all over the country, each region has its own special dish or special dishes. Um, so the food can really vary from the north to the south. In the north, for example, in some areas, you can find food that's more like German food, or in the south, it's more Mediterranean, like Greek food, for example. It tends that direction.
And so, Marion, you've lived in Italy.
Yes, that's
Italy
right.
has many famous cities. Can you talk a little bit about them?
Sure. Well, the first city I lived in was Genoa, and Genoa is on the Riviera, so it's a very beautiful place. It's a port city, so my apartment was actually looking out over the port. So I had a great apartment. It was a great view. Genoa has a very old center, so the buildings are hundreds and hundreds of years old, obviously, but it's quite dirty. Well, I don't really want to say dirty, but it's not very well looked after, the
Yeah.
historical center, which is a pity, but it does have really a lot of character. I really liked it.
So what other cities have you been to?
Well, I've been to Rome, of course. I've been to Rome a few times. I think it's one of my favorite cities, actually. I love the fact that in Rome you walk out of your hotel or wherever you're staying and you're just surrounded by history, by just amazing, the Colosseum, for example. Actually, the first time I ever arrived in Italy, I came from the airport directly to the Colosseum station, and I walked out the door of that metro station, and there was the Colosseum in front of me. It was one of those moments. It's just, oh
Yeah.
my God. And there was a full moon up to the left of the Colosseum. It was like almost too perfect, too good to be true.
Did you get a chance to go to Venice?
Yes, I did. Actually, I went to Venice a couple of times. The first time I went was great. We had a chance to travel around or walk around and see the city for ourselves. It's really amazing, all these bridges, and if you want to get anywhere, you have to hop on a boat. The second time I went, though, was for Carnival,
Oh wow, that
Carnevale.
must have been fun.
That was amazing. So everybody is dressed up in their costumes, and the costumes are really, really elaborate, actually. And people were having their faces painted, that kind of thing. And everybody was in really good spirits. It was a great occasion.
Oh, sounds fun. And lastly, did you get a chance to go to Florence?
Yes, I did actually. I went often because I lived an hour away in Pisa. So Florence is amazing. It's just maybe the most cultural city after Rome as regards art galleries and that kind of thing. And just the city itself, it's all that kind of terracotta hues of the buildings, and big piazzas, lots of statues, and it has a bit of a rich feel to it, actually. So, yeah, it's a really good place to people watch as well.
And Milan, did you get a chance to go to Milan?
Yeah, I stayed with a friend in Milan actually for a couple of weeks, just a few years ago. Even though I'd passed through before, I didn't really like it because it's a big built-up city, lots of smog and pollution. But when I stayed there with my friend and got to know it a bit better, I ended up quite liking it.
Okay. Well, lastly, just real quickly, if somebody was going to Italy, and there was only one city they could see, what would you recommend?
It would be Rome,
Rome?
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Marion.
You're welcome.
Nitya,
Yeah.
you grew up in India.
Yeah.
In India, what are things that school children like to do for fun?
I think playing hide and seek, and I think what all children like in the world, it's the same, I guess, because like when I came here in Japan, there was one thing was really surprised. I went with first and second grade kids one day to their school, and I was shocked that they play the same games which we play back in India. So I think kids find all over the same things to play.
Right.
I mean, jumping on their one leg and like holding hands and running and merry-go and things like that. So
Yeah.
it's like
It's always the same.
all the same.
Now, you went to a school in Japan. Now you live in Japan. Is school the same in Japan as it is in India?
No, it's totally different. The education system, the things, the whole administration, it's just very different from India, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, can you give us some examples of how India might be different?
Yeah, like first thing is like here one period is 90 minutes, but there we have 45 minutes periods only.
Oh, I
Like
see.
in the classes system, and here it's like even though if it's quarter or semester system, you take a subject and you learn it only for 2.5 months, but the same subject, if it's back home in India, we do it like for 1 year or 6 months. So the length and the depth is more than here.
Now, in India, in let's say primary school or elementary school,
Yeah.
normally how many students are in a class?
Primary schools like 30 students, 30 or 35.
Uh-huh.
But it keep increasing as you go to secondary, it goes up to sometimes 60. Yeah.
Wow. Now, in your town, in your village, is instruction in English or is it in another language?
Okay, like though it's a small town, but we have a university which is second largest in India area-wise in whole world.
Wow.
So yeah, so I studied there. My whole education was there up to my high school. But then later I went to southern part of India for 4 years education.
Uh-huh. And so the instruction was in English?
In English and in Hindi, both, because there are central government schools, so it's supposed to be English.
Oh, I see.
But on the whole, it turns up to be back in mother tongue when we speak in school and everything. But the teachers do give instructions in English.
Okay. And how about you've been to a Japanese school?
Yeah.
What about school lunches? Like, what do kids eat for lunch at a school in India?
In India,
And how do they eat lunch? Is there a cafeteria? Do they bring a lunch?
I think most of them bring lunch, and cafeteria is supposed to be considered unhygienic by mothers, so
Oh.
they are not very favored towards cafeteria food, but we love it because there are so many snacks and oily things which usually kids like, and like spicy kind of things, but mothers are always against it. So we do bring lunches. Sometimes we take it back, Sona Mama, and eat at cafeteria or give it to somebody, things like that.
Well, in India, what is a typical lunch that a mother would make for her children?
Okay, it is usually chapati made by wheat flour and some kind of stew, that kind of thing, or like potatoes and vegetables kind of thing.
Right. You said chapati?
Yeah,
What is a chapati?
chapati. It's like a pizza base, and it's made by wheat flour.
Uh-huh. So it's
A round thing, a
It's
thin round thing.
it's a thin round piece of bread.
Yeah, exactly. You
And
can
is there
take it in
something
piece.
on it or in it?
Yeah, we eat it with some potato curry or things like that.
Is the curry on the outside or the inside?
No, it's separate.
Oh, really?
You eat it with this, with this. It's
Oh,
like
I
that,
see.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, thanks, Nitya.
Yeah. Thank you.